Hello everybody, X-Ray LP here coming at you all with another video. And today we have got something special for you. As most of you know, the manga has been on break for the past month and it has been driving me absolutely nuts. I have been caught up for a long time now, at least a good year or so. And probably well over a year. But anyway, I've been caught up for a while and going a month without it, can't say it was the funnest experience of my life. But anyway, the break is done. We are back. So here is my podcast format review of chapter 1054. What do I mean by podcast? It means I'm pretty much going to talk about the chapter whatever I want. And I'm not scripting it or anything, so it's probably going to be all over the place. So, without further ado, 1054. So I'm going to start where it starts out, and I'm not going to go, as you know, it's like a three-part chapter. You start here, you get to this next thing, and then you start on one spot, you get to a completely different situation, and then you get to another completely different situation. I'm going to start out with the first part, skip to the third part, and then save the best for last. We all know what it is, alright? And if you don't, well, then you should probably stop and read the chapter first. Go read the chapter, then get back to this. Because I'm not holding back on spoilers whatsoever. But anyway, let's start out with Riyakugu. These past two chapters have really surprised me with this guy. Because when Riyakugu was in here, I legitimately thought we were going to have like a Aokiji or Kizaru situation. He just seemed like one of those guys that would be like, I'll do what I absolutely have to do, maybe, or I'll just do what I want to do and see where things go. Because that's really the vibe he gave us when we first met him. Like, he said that he doesn't pick up food and eat it because he's too lazy to. He would if a woman fed it to him, but that's about it. Now, that's what kind of speculated that he had plant logia, which turns out to be right, but I'll circle back to that. But no, this guy, despite the fact that he had orders to kill Fujitora before and was too lazy to, like, if I'm remembering correctly, he didn't even have orders to really go to Wano, or at least Sakazuki was kind of skeptical of if he should or not. But he just thought, but after brutally beating most of the Beast Pirates, single-handedly, including King and Queen, though those guys probably weren't fully back up to strength yet. He beat them pretty easily. And now he's just going after Luffy to make Akainu happy. And this guy has had a full 180 as a character. Like, it is insane. I thought he would have like a lazy sense of justice, like I said before. No, this guy follows a situation of absolute justice. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this guy has like multiple personality disorder or something, if he's like the Blackbeard of the Admirals and we just got the lazy Riyakugu when we first met him, and now we get the Akainu Riyakugu, because this guy is just, wow, on a different level of, and I don't know, this guy, he will do anything to get his job done. One thing that definitely cements that is his conversation with the vassals. You know, as, again, you guys have read the chapter, I'm not going too far into it. Some vassals are standing up against him. Yamato is standing up against him, but I'll circle back to them. But anyway, he goes up against the vassals, and then he explains to them that the celestial dragons are gods in pretty much any country that is not part of the world government, has no standing. And he's like, that's just how the world works. Now, I don't know if that's like, if it's a belief of his because he believes that's right, that's how the world should be, or if that's just him accepting how the world is. Like, maybe he had trouble understanding that once, and Akainu just probably beat it into him. I don't know. He has a forest logia. Forest wouldn't really do well against magma. You know, so Akainu probably actually did beat it into him. Maybe that's what causes multiple personality disorder. But anyway, this guy is just a beast. And his devil fruit is so powerful. Like, he just Like, for one thing, it's called the forest fruit. That's pretty unique because normally when we see a Logia, it's usually a situation of it just has one type of element. So you'd think that he would have like a vine fruit, a forest, a tree fruit, a plant, a flower fruit. Well, there's already a flower fruit, but you know. But no, he controls pretty much anything in a forest. Well, I guess we kind of have a situation like that with the swamp fruit, since technically swamp is kind of a broad term. Maybe this might be the superior version of the swamp fruit. That would be kind of cool if it was. The superior version of what might be the worst Logia. Yeah, I guess that's not too impressive. But anyway, this guy is going out for Luffy, and he said that he will kill thousands of people in Wano to do that. And that is when Yamato comes in. And Yamato just like clubs this guy, saying, "Everything you said makes me sick." And this guy, an admiral, comments on how good Yamato's haki is. And, well, Yamato also introduced... I know most people call Yamato she, but it does seem like Yamato identifies as a guy over these past few chapters. So I'm going to say he. Yamato introduces himself as Kaido's son, and it kind of takes Riyakugu a minute to kind of realize what Yamato said after commenting on the haki. He's just like, Kaido's? And that, I thought that was kind of funny. Like, it looks like a very serious moment, but it's always funny when it's like, oh man, that's good. What? Kind of like in the Family Guy. Anyway. So there's that. And then we have a pretty cool twist. Momonosuke comes in. And I love how he's just all confused, like, whoa, a pink dragon? I didn't hear anything about this. But yeah, Momonosuke comes in, and yeah, and then he does pretty much the same move he did to Kite. Well, actually, he did one move first. The Blast Breath. Which, hey, if he learns how to do that, he's up against a guy who turns into a forest. That's not going to go well for him. That is his natural counterpart. Because Momonosuke, as some of you guys remember, was able to hurt Kaido a little bit. Not very much, but a little bit. Because his dragon teeth were powerful enough to go past Kaido's dragon scales. So yeah, he hurt Kaido, not very badly. But it was effective. But this is a Logia he's up against. And as far as we know, Momonosuke is not a user of haki yet. I don't doubt that he could probably use Conqueror's haki. But we don't have any evidence behind that yet. So, unless he uses his Blast Breath, he's not doing anything to Riyakugu. That's just how Logias are. And this is pretty good because Logias have been a little disappointing during the post-time skip era. Because haki is just like, kind of takes away the creativity of it. But the fact that Momonosuke uses an attack that hurt Kaido and it does nothing to Riyakugu, that's fun. And, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a one-on-one fight with Momonosuke. Because Momonosuke is like, no one's bringing tyranny to these people again. I vowed to make sure that never happens again under his rule. And that is a really good line. And another good line is, Yamato, stay out of this. I like how he kind of emphasizes Yamato, because Yamato obviously is the strongest person there. I don't doubt for a second that Yamato's stronger than Riyakugu. I could be wrong. I mean, it'd be a good fight either way, but I could be wrong. But I love how Momonosuke is like, Yamato, stay out of this, but doesn't tell any of the other vassals that because they're probably not strong enough to do much anyway. You know, they're still hurt from their fight with Kaido, and as well as all the other fights that they were in. Sorry. But yeah, and don't get me wrong, the vassals are strong, but we don't have all of them. And the vassal, and yeah, all of them couldn't beat Kaido, which obviously Riyakugu also couldn't beat Kaido. But they just weren't strong enough for that. But anyway, I love how... I'm finally going to get to the point of this. Sorry, I tend to go on tangents. Momonosuke says, Yamato, stay out of this. Because I think we're gonna get some, maybe not character growth from Momonosuke. I don't know how much Momonosuke can grow more as a character, because he's grown a lot as a character. But what he can grow as is a combatant. And since he now has this strong 28-year-old body, he needs to learn how to do that stuff. He needs to learn how to adapt in battle. He needs to learn how to use his dragon abilities. Because right now, he might have the strongest Zoan fruit in existence. Yes, Luffy's Zoan fruit's pretty strong, but I don't think it's as strong as Momonosuke's. Granted, we still don't know if Kaido's alive or not. Personally, I do think he's alive. You know, he is in a vat of lava and has been for a week, but lava is not made of hockey, so it's probably not going to do anything. But anyway, Momonosuke, he's probably going to fight Riyakugu one-on-one. He's probably going to learn how to use his dragon abilities better, and he's going to become stronger because of it. So yeah, there's that. And, well, I'm kind of... I don't remember if did I say this at the beginning? But anyway, I'm skipping the second part because obviously that is the best part of the chapter. So anyway, on to the third part of the chapter. We finally get to learn a little bit more about what happens at the Reverie. We finally find out who dies. We finally find out the situation of Vivi and Cobra and Sabo and all them. And overall, this was all pretty significant information. And I feel bad for Cobra. Like, I was never too attached to that character, but I always liked the guy. And now we know that he's gone. Like, he was assassinated. And the world government's trying to pin it on Sabo. And I say pin it because I can't think of any reason why Sabo would kill King Cobra. I just don't see what that would do to it. How that would accomplish anything. Unless it was by accident. You know, if Sabo used a fire fist against the admirals and somehow Cobra got in the way. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they killed Cobra. I don't know why. But I'm pretty sure it's safe to say they're just pinning on Sabo. And now here's the part that really bugs me. Vivi is missing. Undoubtedly, Eam has something to do with it. He undoubtedly probably put like some contract assassin or something on there to grab Vivi. And I don't know what he wants with Vivi. Maybe he wants to know where that one poneglyph is to get to Pluton. I don't know. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Eam could read the poneglyphs. We know Eam's a very powerful character. And we know Eam knows more about this world than anybody else. At least, I don't doubt for a second that he does. So yeah, Vivi's missing, and I literally made a top 10 list the other day of my favorite characters. And not like the video wasn't just top 10, it was a ranking of 120 One Piece characters. I didn't rank every one of them individually, I put them in category. It is a tier list, just go watch it. But I did rank my top 10, and Vivi was in number 4. Because she is one of my all-time favorite characters of this show. She's hands down best girl. And I love Vivi. If she is dead, I am gonna be pissed. But there is some good news, though. The admirals, luckily, they were fighting in the land of the celestial dragons, so they had to hold back, which allowed Sabo and all his friends to escape with Kuma. So it is a little disappointing that even though they were holding back... Sorry. I'm doing this at 4 a.m., people. I'm sorry. But even though the admirals were holding back, it still seems like while Sabo would probably give them a good fight, the rest of them just don't seem that tough. You know? But hey, hopefully someday we get a little bit more on that. Although this is One Piece, it could be that we find out everything about this fight. It could be this is what we get from it. We get that the admirals had to hold back because the celestial dragons were around. They couldn't risk hurting them, allowing the other guys to leave. So that's how it is. But the most interesting, and One little thing I kind of want to throw in is we get like another little thing where it's like Navy Criminal Affairs units, where it sounds like this is kind of where the Navy has like internal affairs and stuff. There's some things going on. They send these guys to investigate, kind of like a army cop or something like that. And apparently they were probably investigating something. The attempted murder of Saint Charles. Now, I don't know if they were investigating. Now, from the looks of it, now here's what it says: Saint Mosgard, the Don Quixote guy who was once a jerk on Fishman Island, but ended up becoming an actually pretty good guy, who took a common bow and slammed St. Charles in the face. Oh my god, favorite moment of the reverie by far. I like that arc in general, but that was my favorite part. I love seeing St. Charles get beat up. Don't we all? But anyway, Saint the Saint Meals. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I love the guy. Just don't know how to pronounce his name. But he eschews the criminals, and it looks like everything's good. I'm guessing the criminals were probably King Neptune in those little. I think they're called dwarves. I don't know. I know that's a term that can come off kind of offensive if you use it wrong, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. The guys from Dressrosa, the guys with the little raccoon tails and stuff. I'm guessing, so that's just a little something that happened there. That wasn't really a big thing. But we get a little thing about Sabo. He is now known as the Flame Emperor, which is cool because that's like the name of Ace. Because, well, two reasons. One, that's the name of Ace's ability when he fought against Blackbeard. Flame Emperor. So that was probably a little foreshadowing, sort of. Foreshadowing that no one would have been able to pick up at the time. But yeah, he is being worshipped as a god, which is cool because Luffy has also become an Emperor of the Sea. So that's a pretty cool parallel between the two. Sabo's rising up in the ranks of the Revolutionary Army. His influence on the world is rising up to the point where they're saying that he's probably got even more influence than Dragon, the head of the Revolutionary Army. Like, there's so many places that are just rising up against the world government, just trying to shut them down. And it's awesome. Sakazuki even says that he really got promoted at like the worst time possible. And I think as a character, Sakazuki is not really that interesting. But as a villain, I think he's really good. But it's really fun to see him be frustrated. But anyway, that is the third part. And now for the bread and butter of the chapter, we have got Shanks. Shanks, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who jump-started this journey for Luffy, the guy who has been there the entire time, yet we still barely know anything about him. And every time we do see him, we end up asking more questions than we get answers to. And guess what? We get some answers to some things. Meaning one little answer that I will get to in a little bit. And like a million more questions. Like this is getting crazy. So apparently Shanks is let me see here really quick. He's in the seas around Wano. Now, I don't know if he's going to Wano or if he's leaving from Wano. Like, granted, Riyakugu's there, so Shanks showing up would be a pretty good idea. That's probably why the Marines have invaded, because, obviously, they probably didn't bring a fleet to, take on an entire emperor, which might sound weird, but keep in mind, what they were doing was they had little things to do that they wanted a fleet to back them up for. Plus, the Yonko were already engaged with Luffy and all of them, so they would have been distracted enough. They wouldn't have needed a huge fleet. But those Yonko crews being there, then the red hairs show up, they're gonna hightail it. That's how it is. So yeah, we get that question, why is Shanks in Wano? It could be that he's there to collect a poneglyph. I'll get to why in a so. You guys have already read the chapter. No. So I don't get why I keep saying it like we don't even know. But anyway, we don't know why Shanks. We don't know why Shanks is in Wano. I've got to stop doing these right before I go to bed. Yes, I said I do doing this at 4 a.m., but I'm still doing it right before I go to bed. I work night shifts. Anyway, so Shanks' whole crew is there, and they're like, yeah, let's go meet Luffy. I love it. Yeah, I want to see that kid again. Except for Yasop, he's like, wait. I don't think I'm ready to meet Usopp yet. You know, I kind of spent those last 19 years abandoning him to be a pirate. Like, this guy is like a slightly more friendly Jing Freaks, where he's like, yeah, I'm probably gonna hightail it whenever my son comes by because I can't face him. Except, Yasop, like I said, comes off as a little more friendly than Jing. But anyway, so yeah, and then it's just like, yeah, it's time to meet Luffy. He's become a great pirate. And then Shanks shuts that down. Yeah, no, we're not gonna see Luffy. And this next part kind of confuses me, where I don't think he's taking it too seriously, but he brings up how Bartolomeo was doing a whole bunch of stuff and saying that he was doing it in the name of Luffy. So they had to go and take care of that. So maybe they are leaving Wano. I don't know. Or, hey, maybe they were just floating by Wano. Maybe they were doing something somewhere else. And Wano just so happened to be right by. I don't know. But anyway, he brings up that Bartolomeo was like burning their flags and stuff, and we can't just let that slide. Sounds kind of contradicting to Shanks' character, because of all the Yonko, he would be one to let that slide, be like, yeah, we don't really care as long as you don't hurt any of our people, which as far as we know, Bartolomeo wasn't doing. Oh, wait, yeah, he did hurt some people. He did. He hurt one big guy. But that's in Shanks' territory, that's Shanks' responsibility. He can't let that slide. So anyway, that's probably the situation. But I also think he's kind of using it as an excuse for the other guys to buy in order to not see Luffy yet. But anyway, now on to the question that was answered. The question was, when Shanks was stealing the Ito Hito no Mi model, I've heard it be pronounced something, but it sounds like it would be like Nikkei. I know that's not how most people pronounce it, but like that's just how it sounds to me. I don't know. Plus, I like the word Nikkei better. It sounds cooler. Anyway, let's just go with the gum gum fruit. Because, yeah, because I like that better. It feels better coming out than the Hito Hito no Mi model Nike or Nika. Whatever. I don't. Ooh, man, that after I say the actual like God name out loud, I'm like I gotta be careful with that one. But anyway, so where was I? Oh, damn. Oh, we find out if they thought that fruit was actually important. The higher ups obviously did because they employed Cypherpole to do it. Like Ben Beckman even says, Cypherpole's there. That's gonna be annoying. I didn't put up too much of a fight, but granted, that was back when they weren't a Yonko crew. So they probably just weren't as strong as they are now. I don't know. We've seen how much of a difference 2 years can make, and they had like over 10 years to get stronger. So that's probably a good point. But anyway, they're like, yeah, no, isn't this just a fruit that makes you rubbery? Obviously, the higher-ups probably knew what they were getting at. But yeah, the Cypherpole agent didn't. But anyway, time to move on. Because that is literally the only question answered. And it's not really that big of a one. But one little thing I want to say is Luffy definitely has. This is one like huge sign about how Luffy has moved up the ranks in piratehood. because the lower levels of the red hair pirates who don't know Luffy, they've never met him. They joined probably after Shanks became a Yonko, which wasn't for like what 4 or 6 years after he gave Luffy the straw hat. They're saying they really know the straw hat Luffy. They're asking if the red hair Shanks, who's been a Yonko for years, knows the red hair Luffy. Like, that is crazy. That is crazy. Like, obviously, him becoming emperor stuff is awesome. You know, that definitely showed he was climbing the ranks. But I don't know why, but, like, the fact that they were saying, did Shanks really know the Straw Hat Luffy? That hit me so hard coming from there. And this next part's kind of ironic because this one guy says, they say he's like a rampaging demon monkey. Which is kind of weird because I'm pretty sure it came out the mouth of what looks like a gorilla mink. So, that's funny. But anyway, on to the final bit. Or that is making a million questions rush in my mind. He goes up to Ben Beckman and says, should we go? Is it time to claim it, the One Piece? It's like, what the what in God's name is he talking about? Because never once in this entire story did I ever think for a second that Shanks would want to go after the One Piece. I never thought that before. I always thought he wanted Luffy to get the One Piece. Once Luffy gets the One Piece, Shanks will take the hat back. Which, hey, maybe he's going after the One Piece because he knows how close Luffy is to it. I'd be like, okay, yeah, just want to be here to send you off to the One Piece, and then as soon as you get that, yeah, I'm gonna take that hat back. I do not know. Or does Shanks? I have no idea what Shanks is getting at. Because like I said, I never thought that he would want to go after the One Piece. I never thought he would be interested in it. But granted, I don't know, there are a couple theories I have. One theory is that he probably wants to go get it so that way Teach can't. That could be it. Keep in mind, Big Mom is not in Whole Cake Island. Big Mom's probably not even alive anymore. I don't doubt that she is, but she probably isn't. You know, just because I think her and Kaido are alive doesn't mean I can act like I know it for sure. I don't. And Kaido is no longer a big threat in Wano anymore. Blackbeard is an opportunist. He will not hesitate to go after those road poneglyphs. I don't know. Granted, he might not go after the road poneglyphs, because how would he? Pudding. If he goes to Whole Cake Island first, he can go grab Pudding while he's grabbing the poneglyphs. And then he can use the voice of all things in order to do it. Well, that voice of all things is kind of contradicting because, like, it seems like they use the voice of all things to kind of know what a poneglyph's about, but then they used, when I say they, I mean the Roger Pirates, but then they used Odin to read it. Because Odin actually could read that stuff. So I don't know, that's contradicting. Or maybe Blackbeard just knows somebody who can read them. I don't know. Keep in mind, the scholars of Ohara, they were able to decipher it. Chances are other people were able to as well. You know, it could just be a possibility. But no, Shanks is going after the One Piece. Maybe. And we just don't know why. Does Shanks just want a good rival to go after the One Piece? Is that why? It almost feels like it's like, why give Luffy the hat in the first place? It's so crazy. But anyway, guys, that was chapter 1054. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And please comment down below. Because A, I want to hear what you guys have to say. B, it helps the algorithm. And I only have 62 subscribers. So, you know, a few more of those. Or is it 65? I haven't even checked in a while. 65. Yeah, it's 65. I have 65 subscribers. It'd be helpful to have more. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and adios.